The great man is feeling very easy, remains to be seen, but he's played his part very well indeed. If any finger can be pointed at the pacemakers in terms of fault, it would be that. And there in blue is the race director, Mark Milder, by the way, just gone through. If any finger could be pointed in terms of fault, it would be that they have gone a little bit too quick. But it may be, Stuart, that when Gebrselassie, when Haile woke up this morning, he took a look at the windless, perfect conditions, the blue sky, and decided that he would push the envelope a little bit further. He would try and break the world record, not just by 10 seconds or 15 seconds through a strong surge in the last quarter, but maybe he's decided that he would actually be a little bit quicker at halfway. So let's give the benefit of the doubt to these pacemakers and to Haile, who have been together here from the gun, and assume that it's unfolding the way that he would like it to.
Yeah, they're down to two pacemakers now, and incidentally they're between 25 kilometres and 26 kilometres at this particular point of the race. Rheinstrasse, they'll turn right onto Schmelienstrasse and then Wiesbadenstrasse as they approach 26 kilometres. With two pacemakers and three serious athletes in this group. And of course, just to mention James Mwambe again wearing the number 10, and Charles Kamarthi wearing number 2, just behind Haile Gebrselassie. Way quicker than they've ever run before. It's worth mentioning that several times because this is really quite something. 1:13.40. They're just 5 seconds inside the schedule, the even pace schedule. So they're if you were to predict, it would be 2:04.25. So he would be 1 second inside the world record if they kept this pace going. So it's getting a little bit closer.
Yes, they have certainly slowed a little bit, haven't they, over the last 5 kilometres. That might not be a bad thing. Here is that leading group, which includes the leading group in the women's race. Just two athletes in there, and alongside Tafa is Elena Kiprop, who hasn't done any leading herself at the moment. Tafa hasn't glanced around at all that I've seen. I wonder whether she knows she's got athletes with her. She will be aware that she's moving at inside 2:20 tempo, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at her season last season, she was very competitive with a world best over 10k last season. 32:43. Gebrselassie just looks so comfortable, doesn't he? Of the three competitors, James Mwambe has always looked as though he's just going to drop off the back. He's just going out of your picture on the right now. Yellow vest for Gebrselassie. Mwambe there just on the right. There's the great man. Didn't go to the Olympics, worth mentioning that again, for the marathon. Went for the 10,000 metres, came 6th. And that's a very fine performance once again. He hasn't got the basic speed anymore. It's not over 10,000 metres, so he's moved up to the marathon. And I guess there'll be others that will do that as well once they find that perhaps they can't compete in the ever-developing long-distance races on the track where rhythm-sapping techniques are introduced from time to time, and you've got to be very special. And of course there are lots of question marks. Do you go with it? Do you stay? Who's doing what? The tactics in racing these days are quite dramatic.
Well, they are, and of course any error when you're operating at this extreme level, this rarefied atmosphere of performance is punished several-fold. Gebrselassie has been very lucky over the years, I suppose, Stuart, in terms of the way he's managed himself and the lack of injuries that have blighted his career. When you think that he started as a teenager and won double world junior titles and has gone on right the way through his 20s into his 30s, he's now, we understand, 35 years old. But what I was alluding to earlier when I said that you speak to some agents who know Haile very well, they look at you and they nod sagely and say 35, believe me, he's not 35, he's a lot older than that. And with all due respect to Haile, he does look as though he might be somewhere north of 35. Some people saying that he's up in his high 30s, late 30s, or even beyond 40. Make your own mind up.
Well, for those who are just catching up with the world of long distance running, this is a man, Haile Gebrselassie, is the 8th of 10 children, grew up on a farm. Ran 10 kilometres to school and back every day, carrying his books under his arm, which results in that distinctive crooked left arm. He carried his books there all the way to school and back. So, you know, it all started in a very natural way. He's got 3 daughters and a son. And he starred in his autobiographical movie of his life, Endurance, back in 1999. And he's one of the greats, really, for those new to the sport, one of the greats. And he's proving it here. He holds the world best for this 42-kilometre race, 26 miles, 385 yards, and the marathon distance. He is the fastest, and this season he's run the 2 fastest marathons of all time. And here looks comfortable. The early pace very, very fast indeed. It has steadied just a little, just fractionally inside his existing world record time. So this part of the race is now becoming the significant part of the race, the part of the race where we shall soon know whether this world best time is on.
You're exactly right there, Stuart. Haile, I suspect, will be beginning now to gather himself mentally for the physical challenges ahead. He's got, what, about a third of the race ahead. He's 2/3 of the way through. Split the race 2 hours into 3 40-minute chunks. He's got 1/3 of the distance to go in time, but actually in mental effort, he's probably only at about halfway. He's a man who mentally is used to encompassing so much in his life, not only a family that you talked about, but in his business life. His various businesses include a construction company, 2 schools, a cinema, a fitness centre and a hotel. He employs 200 or 300 people through all those various businesses, and yet he has time for a family. His favourite band is U2, and his favourite singer apparently is Celine Dion. So in so many ways he's the most normal